Hey, this is Nick from JangaFX. I'm going to be showing you how to use the scale node. If you right click in the node graph, you can see that there is a scale node right under the input. So go ahead and click scale, and a scale node pops up. We double click it, nothing happens in the vector field preview window because we don't have any kind of initialization. And if we take this random node right here and we plug it into scale, we can see that it looks exactly as the random node does. That's because our scale in X, Y, and Z is currently 1 in each axis respectively. If we hit Control W, we'll be able to cut the vector field in half so that we can see the inside and see a certain vector. And in this case, we're going to look at this vector right here, the one that's pointing down to the right. And if we scale this right here in Z, we'll see that this vector is going to point down farther. Right, so it's basically just multiplying it towards the direction it's going, and so it increases the bias towards a certain axis depending on which direction you scale it. You can see that the vector is growing in size whenever we scale it. And if we start scaling it in negative z, it's actually going to start pointing in positive z, because positive z is up and negative z is down. But because by default it's already pointing in negative z, scaling it more positively is going to affect it that way. And you can see that as we scale it in Z, the vectors start pointing in the direction that they're most biased towards. If we scale it in Y, you can see that it changes the same way. And if we scale it in X, it changes the same way. And let's just go negative. So yeah, that's basically how scale works. There's not really a whole lot else to say. It works the same with constants, and so if we go ahead and delete this and we bring this constant in, you can see that we can scale it in a different axis, and in this case we already have the constant pointing in Y, and so therefore scale will only work in Y and it won't work in X or Z because the X and Z for these constants equals 0. But if we change it to be up a little bit, now we can see that it works in both Z and Y. So Control W to stop that, or stop cutting it in half. That's basically it. That's how the scale node works. It's good for changing directions, or take for instance, if we have like a line fade like this. Let's go ahead and make it a line fade, and we want to scale some stuff in different axes like this. Maybe make it more powerful without having to adjust this line fade. You can do something like that. So right there, that's basically how scale works. If you have any questions, leave a comment, like the video, subscribe to us, and I'll see you soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.